one of the heroes because it's a bit low.
You keep it over to your left, right, sector.
Long-haul trucker Glenn Hasegawa has a monster move on his hands.
I'm guessing that's the digger there. He told me an excavator. Pretty sure that'll be the one.
He's shifting a $500,000 65-ton digger, used for large excavation work on mining sites. From Darwin, Glenn will haul the massive machinery almost 2,400 kilometres across the top of the country to Port Hedland in Western Australia. On his journey, Glenn faces a series of one-lane bridges, each only 4.1 metres wide.
You've only got 100 mil either side to play with, and you don't want to hit the sides because it just tears your tyres open. We're off.
Long-haul trucking is a dangerous business. Last year, 176 people died in crashes involving heavy trucks on Australia's roads.
You've got to sort of keep your eye open in case someone wants to run into you. A little bit of traffic behind us, back pilot's telling us, so we'll get them around safely.
With an oversized load, Glenn is restricted to a top speed of 80 kilometres per hour and gives an overtaking truck as much room as possible.
Maybe one set hanging over the middle white line, and I've got a set on the edge of the bitumen down this side. You don't want them running into the side of my load.
Got one coming in now.
That triple's going to come around now. Back down a bit and let him get round. Should be tight squeeze, you'd have to breathe in.
The 53-metre-long overtaking truck faces oncoming traffic. And only just squeezes back in time. Next morning, it's an early start. Ahead of him lies the most difficult bridge of the journey.
The Will Air Bridge will be the slowest one because it's quite long.
At over 150 metres long and just over 4.1 metres wide, Will Air Bridge tests even the most experienced of truckers.
We're 4 metres at the wheels. We only got 50 mil either side to play with. Coming up to the last one now. These tight little bridges. I don't think we've scraped. That's a good sign. Just caught the side of the trailer. No drama.
Glenn's 700 kilometres from his destination, the coastal town of Port Hedland. But he still doesn't know exactly where the drop-off location is.
The only mystery left is the address and phone number. But hopefully we'll sort that today. I like to let the customer know beforehand how we're travelling, when we're going to be there. Oh look, there's my phone message, and he might have just heard me and sent me a message. Have a read, see what he sent us. We've got a number, a name, so I'll just give old mate a ring, tell him where we are. G'day, Derek. That Derek?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Glenn from Slingshot Haulage, mate. How are you?
Good, man.
Got a nice big digger on the back of my truck for you.
Exactly. Whereabouts are you now?
30 k's out, 40 k at the most.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you very much, Derek. We were a bit kept in the dark a little bit on that one. We were just about there before we got what we needed. But yeah, all come good in the end.
In Perth, Legendary trucker Steve Graham has a delicate and difficult cargo.
As you can see, it's an awkward, ugly-looking thing.
The new water tank and its components are headed to a remote Aboriginal settlement.
This is a dry country, Australia, and it's in the middle of a dreadful drought.
At this time of year, the Kimberley region is one of the hottest parts of Australia, with temperatures climbing into the mid-40s. It's the build-up to the wet season, which brings increasingly dangerous weather.
We've got to keep our eye out for whatever the outback might dish out. And it's got a few good tricks it can deliver. It's got thunderstorms, bushfires, it's got wildlife on the road. Who said this was going to be a holiday?
Steve's road etiquette is soon put to the test. A pair of 8-metre wide mining dumpsters are collecting traffic. The oversized convoy is following closely behind the pilot vehicle, giving Steve little time to pull over safely.
Yeah, I got it, mate, I got it. Bit close.
Forcing Steve off the road.
Oh, shit.
Have a good night, mate.
No worries, fellas. It was all a bit sudden there, but we're off. Yeah, normally the front pilot's a bit further out, and you got a couple of kilometres at least to get a decent spot to get off. Anyway, no choice in the end. There's a couple of white posts down. So, going to be some heat. There's going to be some little issues, and I hope there's no fires.
Bushfires, started by lightning storms, are a frequent hazard during the build-up to the wet season and have ravaged parts of Australia in one of its worst ever fire seasons.
Oh yeah, now we've got smoke haze here in between the hills. These lightning strike fires, you know, once they start up, they can be bad news. If it gets wind behind it and the flames are going across the road, you're in big trouble.
100 k's further north, the source of the haze becomes apparent.
The big ball up there, that's the fire up the back of Broome. The wind's blowing in such a way that it will blow that fire down towards the highway. If that's the case, they'll shut the road. I can't afford to be this side of the fire because it could be shut for days. Then I'm really in trouble with my people at Wonkajonka and delivery.
With only an hour of daylight left before Steve must legally take a rest from driving, he's now racing against sunset and the bushfire.
I'm going to try and get the Nilibubika. Nilibubika's there, Roebuck's there, and the fire's up there. Sort of a triangle, Roebuck, Nilibubika, fire. So I want to get up there to Nilibubika, I think, and camp there tonight, because if the fire comes down to the highway and DFAS cut the highway in the morning, I'll be in front of it. The build-up throws these things at you. But it's why I enjoy Outback Trucking. Stuff happens.
In the Kimberley, Western Australia,
Today's the last day. I'd like to get there today.
Steve Graham and his dog Bella are making an early start.
I better not get too smart. I've still got 400 kilometres to go. The fire didn't get down to me last night, so I don't have to worry about that.
After 2 hours on the dirt, Steve reaches his destination.
Good truck. Always does a good job, this truck.
On schedule, with his load in perfect condition.
Tell me when to stop, eh? Beautiful. Righto. The boys are going to unload me, which is bloody good news.
But there's a problem with Steve's second trailer.
Looks like we might need another sling.
Missing is a sling needed to stabilise the tank lid while unloading.
It's probably still sitting on the forklift out in Pioneer's Yard. I've got straps here you can use. I mean, the straps are rated for 2,400 kilos.
Right, let's do that.
And what we can do is put a ratchet on the end, which is, you know, where you want to join it.
The team opt for some Outback innovation.
And then we ratchet that to its mate. Yeah, because the two back ones stabilise it. I think you'll be right. Once it's off the trailer, it's out of my hands. It's another job done, and another job done is always good.
Sharon's loading up with urgent feed supplements for Coolatar Station, a massive 420,000-acre cattle property in far north Queensland's remote Cape York Peninsula.
You're turning off onto the infamous Utan. Yeah, this is a fairly significant crossing. It's fairly steep and windy, so you can't hit it running.
Outback cattle stations are so big, they're mostly unfenced, leaving cattle to roam free.
Mate, we've got to be careful of those because they are what do big damage to the truck if we hit something like that. Thanks, old girl.
Sharon's missed the cattle, but she's also missed a gear.
I don't want to get stuck coming up there. Not by myself, not with the road trainer. As you can see, straight into bog to get out.
In bog the truck's lowest gear,
Come on.
the 1,000 horsepower road train claws back momentum.
And we're out. I don't like using bog because it means you've missed a gear.
As night falls, Sharon navigates the track onto the station, parking up, ready for unloading at dawn. Before the day heats up, Sharon empties the 24-ton tank of molasses.
It's a nice time of the morning, eh? It's nice and cool. So molasses with rumensin and protein, which is a supplement that cattle seem to like. Hey, boo-boo. There's little babies popping up everywhere.
The molasses is a lifesaver.
You do it every week and you see the same little weaners. You come out here and they come racing up. Leaving Kalata and dropping into the Mitchell River. Good croc country up here. There's plenty of crocodiles. There's no swimming in the water. Just have a look for crocs. Can't see any today, but I don't really want to see any because I'm going to stop and get out and just wash off the molasses and wash my signs. Oh, you generally won't see a croc if he's under the water. He'll be watching you. They sort of sneak up on you if you're not careful. Mate, you don't want them to hang around. Can't see anything down there, but yeah, you're not sure if it's a fish or it's somebody watching you wanting to bite, so let's get out of here before we get eaten. The whirly winds are a good indication that it is starting to heat up. The thermals change and ground temperature, and they'll go hundreds of metres up in the air.
With her load fully delivered, Sharon's rig is lighter, but the Utan road is just as tough on the return as the journey to get here.
This is a section of road that's deteriorated really, really badly. So I call this the which ways, because it's whichever way you can go. There's bull dust everywhere, and I'm actually going to get off the road because that looks pretty deep out there. Like that'd be 3 foot of just solid bull dust, and you're quite likely to get bogged out there. There's no visibility whatsoever behind me, but I'm skidding around a fair bit. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Pick a spot, any spot. Go this way. I don't know. It's pretty bad, eh? That's it. We made it through. Whoa.
They'd don't come much bigger than these colossus. Two 95-ton mining dumpsters headed to iron ore mines in the northwest of Australia. At $2 million each, these reconditioned beasts will replace others coming out of service. Every day they're not working costs the mines thousands.
We could run into bushfires, you could run into smoke houses, you run into windstorms, you don't know what you're going to run into.
From Mackay on the central Queensland coast, these two mining monsters will take 9 days to crawl almost 5,000 kilometres across the top of the continent to Port Hedland in Western Australia. 190 tonnes of mining machinery prepares to cross the continent.
Where are you at, Jules? Yeah, right, just watch me tail swing when I'm coming out. I might use this trailer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just keep watching the left when I come out of here. Clear the end of that fence?
Yeah, you've still got about a metre to go and you've got plenty of room both sides.
With 30 years' experience transporting giant loads, Athel's seen his cargo getting bigger each year.
They've gone from big to huge in the last 20 years. The bigger the truck, the less people they've got to employ, so they reckon, but most bridges are still the same.
The oversized convoy approaches the small town of Richmond in Western Queensland. Its narrow streets are lined with dangerously low power lines. For Brian, it's a chilling reminder of the disasters that happen if their calculations are wrong.
I was on the ground winching the crane up onto the trailer and just got too close to the wires that were there along the side of the road. It just arced, and because I was on the ground, it earthed down through me. 3 months I was in hospital. Did several operations. Lost a fair bit of my right hand. They cut stuff out on my side. Much to everyone's surprise, I went back to work and still doing it.
Brian has plenty of reason to be anxious. His 5.4 metre tall rig has just half a metre to spare between it and the ageing power lines, each carrying 33,000 volts.
Just watch this one here, actually, it's a bit low.
You keep it over to your left, right, see that? No road is all clear.
Oh, that's the hardest work I have to do today, I'll be happy.
Safely through town, the convoy encounters a new problem. It's cattle country, and Brian's sharing the roads with double-decker livestock trucks, known as crates.
The stock trucks, when they're loaded, we don't like pushing them off the road because they're very unstable. If they go off too far and start leaning, the cattle start leaning, and there's been a few of them fall over.
Despite a police escort and plenty of warning, one cattle trucker is refusing to give way.
You didn't want to stop, that's for sure. That's right. They everyone up.
There's a couple of crates up here, a bit tight up here.
Okay, over we go. Okay, just straighten up to that line. Just hold that line there, be good. Then you find more room, mate.
You pulled over when you first heard me, you'd have had plenty of room.
Now Brian and Athel have a new headache. A 3-trailer road train signals to pass.
You get as close to each other as possible so the vehicles coming around us don't have such a big area to overtake.
Keep coming. Yeah, my gear, coming.
Brian's forced to push the wheels of his massive load right to the edge.
Keep going, mate. Keep going. Keep coming. Yeah, keep going, mate. The trailer's steering away from you, so where you go?
Is that it? Yeah!
The triple road train spends nearly 90 seconds on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, you're done. mate. Bring it back. No worries.
At last, they make the unloading yard at Port Hedland. The masters of heavy haulage, Athol and Brian, deliver their giant cargo.
So I've got the loads here, undamaged, unmarked. That's what it's all about. Getting the stuff here ready to use. We made it here, mate. That's the name of the game. We got here. All good.